Hey, g'day big bikers. Well, if you have recently received a notification from YouTube saying there's a new video from Big Bike Adventures, they haven't posted for a while, then you've come to the right place. It's been a minute, I got to tell you. There's a lot been going on, and it's what are we? The last day of January in 2025. So a little bit to get through. But out on the 701, let's this thing's a great road bike. It's a great off-road bike. But yeah, no, it's long overdue for a belt. Battery was flat when I got on this morning. It had been so long, so it hasn't been ridden since the Husky Trek in 2024, so it was at September, October, and hasn't been ridden since. I basically took it off the back of the car, gave it a good clean, and put it in the shed, thinking that I would ride it on a regular basis, but there's been a whole heap of stuff happening, so stopping to smell the roses. Let's ride. I had an appointment, so I'm getting to the age now where I've got to be getting regular checkups for things, and the last time I had a checkup, the doctor picked up a bit of an issue with my ticker, so I had a cardiac specialist appointment when I came back from Husky Trek, and I was down there riding motorbikes every day. I think 2,500 kilometres. I think we did over the 7 days, something like that. And I got back, and the cardiologist, they did an echocardiogram, and they did an ultrasound on the heart. So I had they're calling it a genetic issue, unrelated to, they're not saying it's related to vaccines or any jabs that have been going around, and whilst I was completely anti those, because I work in the aviation sector, I had to have at least two so I could get the fucking bullshit. Anyway, don't even get me started on that crap. So anyways, I had to go to hospital. The doctor said to me, right, you're grounded, no riding motorbikes, no flying anywhere, until you get this issue resolved. And basically had to go off and have an ablation. But it was really funny that he said, yeah, you're grounded, you can't go anywhere until we get the issue resolved. I didn't mention to him I'd just come back from a week of intensive motorcycle riding in country areas. So anyway, they had a procedure, it's called an ablation. So my heart was fibrillating, so it was basically, I had to wear a holster for 24 hours, and in that 24-hour period my heart was beating 27,000 extra beats on top of what a normal heartbeat. So heart function wasn't, it was down to about 30%. So I had to have a procedure that's known as an ablation, a cardiac ablation. And basically what they do is they go in through the carotid artery in your heart, in your thigh. So they go up through your groin with a bit of wire up into your heart, and they burn off these nodes that are actually causing the extra beats. So there's kind of all these electrodes in my heart that shouldn't be there and doing stuff. Anyway, so I had all these pads all over my chest and on my back, so that the X-ray could, it was just over the top. It was insane. I was sedated, I was restrained, so I had my hands tied, because I don't want you moving, because there's a freaking wire up inside your heart. But there was an X-ray machine pretty much right on top of my chest, having a look at what they were doing, and then there was a great big TV screen behind the X-ray machine that the doctors were looking at, and they're 3D mapping the inside of my heart in real time. The technology was mind-blowing, and I'm awake and I'm watching them mapping the inside of my heart and the valves and the muscles moving and everything in real time while I'm watching it. And I'm saying to the doctor, because I'm sedated, I'm not knocked out, right? And I said to the doctor, this technology is just amazing. Look at that, you're actually mapping the inside of my heart in real time, like while I'm watching it. And he's gone, Stephen, stop talking. Because I'm moving my head, you know. I'm moving my head to see around the big x-ray machine that was up in front of me, and I'm moving my head, and I'm kind of going, you know, wow, look at that, it's amazing, that's incredible. And he's going, Stephen, stop talking. It's very, 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 very professional and proficient cardiologist in the public system up here. It was amazing. Anyway, I'm turning my head, you know, because that's about the only part of my body I could turn, and I'm turning my head to have a look around this x-ray machine, and he's going, Stephen, stop moving. And I went, oh, yep, sorry. And next minute he looks at the nurse who's attending to my well-being. He nods at her, and she comes over and she pushes down on the plunger of the syringe. Well, that's the last thing I remember. So the doc just knocked me out. So funny. And he just said to the nurse, no, just shut him up. Just, you know, he sedated him, let's knock him out. So they knocked me out. I woke up 2 hours later. It was so very funny. Anyway, look, and overnight, like literally, you know, I came out of there and my heart condition was gone. They literally fixed the issue, you know, there and then. And, you know, now it's just a matter of getting the heart strength back up to normal. So anyway, that's kind of what happened. And then once, because that happened towards the back end of the year, that was kind of like late October, and then I had a whole heap of travel that I had to do. I had to go to New Zealand quite a lot, and then in December, obviously, you know, everything's shutting down. But Ms. Buttons and I had actually planned since about February. We said, you know, let's go over and have a white Christmas. She'd never had a white Christmas before, never been to Canada before. She'd been to the US, but not to, you know, any of the Grand Canyon or any of that sort of stuff. So we did that. So that was it was basically Christmas. We flew over Christmas Eve, landed in Vancouver, picked up the car, and then went up to Whistler for a white Christmas, which was just beautiful. We spent a couple of days up there, just messing around in the snow. Didn't go skiing or anything because it was, you know, my knees are shot, and we didn't want to risk the rest of our trip by having another injury. And then we went across from Vancouver, across the Canadian Rockies. Drove from Vancouver up over to Banff. We spent about 10 days around Banff for New Year's Eve, and just you know, doing dog sledding and just really enjoying the Canadian mountains and the Canadian Rockies are just incredible. So we stayed at a little place outside Banff called Canmore, and did just, you know, we had this Chevrolet Silverado. It was a big engine, big 6.6 litre petrol engine. We had so much fun. Anyway, we dropped that at Calgary Airport, and we flew from Calgary down to Las Vegas, and then from Las Vegas, after a couple of days there, you know what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, and then we did a road trip around Canyonland for about 10 days. Now I got upgraded into a Lincoln Navigator, and holy smokes, what a car! I was very, very impressed. I mean, this thing had bells and whistles, an amazing sound system, but it was the seats on this thing were just so comfortable. Every time we jumped in the car, you know, Ms. Buttons is just nodding off to sleep. But it even had a washer for the rear camera, like, if you know how rear cameras get dirty. This one had a washer for the rear camera. It had everything. Anyway, Lincoln Navigator cruising around. So we went up to Page in Arizona, did the Vermilion Cliffs and Page in Arizona, did the Antelope Canyon, then we went up around through Bluff and down through, can't remember, but we ended up at the Four Corners. Yeah, Arizona, Utah, Colorado and New Mexico. And it was great. And then we went around to Grand Canyon. We spent a couple of nights there. We got in late one evening. We spent the whole day at Grand Canyon and then got up and left the next morning. So it was an incredible trip. And then where did we go after? We drove back through California. Well, all the fires were on in LA, so we drove back through to LA, dropped the car off, jumped on a plane, and then flew out. Basically, anyway, that was us. So we had a great time. We got back. When did we get back? Mid-January. So really, actually only a couple of weeks ago. It seems like forever now. My VFR 1200 is down her place. So we went and had a weekend away last weekend on that one, so that's good. So this weekend I said to her, I'm going to go for a ride on the 700. I'm going to go make a video of miss chatting to the fellas. So I hope that brings you up to speed with what's been going on. A lot happening, and we've been having a great time. Life is actually really good. And yeah, look, let's just get back into riding motorbikes and doing videos, because I haven't done one for so long. So I'm going to change content a little bit this year. I'm probably not going to be able to do as many big trips as I used to be able to do. This whole having a day job thing is getting in the road a little bit of my riding. I'll see if I can change that at some stage, but we do have a big trip planned at Easter. So if you take, in Australia we've got we have a long weekend at Easter, but then we have another long weekend, so it's like a 4-day weekend, 3 work days, and then another 3-day long weekend. So if you take those 3 days off in the middle, you actually get 10 days leave. So I've already teed up with what's going on here? So I've already teed up with Chris from ADV Rider Bloke, and potentially a mystery guest. We're going to try and do some of the stuff that we didn't get to last time we went out for a ride, because Cushy broke his leg on that trip. Now I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Alright, I'll talk to you later, but yeah, BBA back on the road 2025. Over and out.